Mic checker, check me a mic. And we sounded. Waiting for the stream delay. Mic checker, check me a mic. We good. Which means I just gotta post my links and shit. So please give me a second. There's probably some sort of automated system that I could use to do this, but I do not want to give anyone the mistaken impression that I know what I'm doing. I should really get my monitor situation in a place where a third of my extra monitor is not cut off. Yet here we are. I do not want to give anyone the mistaken impression that I should post it on Blue Sky. That's the better website. Gonna go on Twitter. Hello, babe. I'd say one of these days I'm going to have my act together, but let's be real, that's not happening. So. Hello, and welcome to the Recluse Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut stream election night anti-Doomscrolling special. I swear I moved today's stream to, right now, before I remembered that this was actually going to be election night. I know I said last time that I was going to hold it on Sundays, but then I got to Sunday and I was beat as hell. And plus, I got to go to bed super early on Sundays anyway, so I think Tuesday is going to be our new day going forward. And it just so happens, as a nice coincidence, that if I'm streaming, I don't have to watch the news. That's kind of nice, isn't it? Also, weird little bit of, I don't know, news, different kind of news. I somehow forget very regularly that my parents know about what I do on the internet. And I recently heard from my dad that he's watched like all of these streams. So, I think that means everyone here has got to be on their best behavior, okay? No thirsting. Is that clear? This is going to be a squeaky clean, family-friendly stream. And having said that, it's time to start up a new loop and actually, for once, try to get one of the new routes, which I know now that the new routes are a third chapter of the Ghost, third chapter of the Prisoner, and third chapter of the Damsel. And I know my way around those a little bit better. When I was gunning for the Beast, I had no idea what I was doing. So I think I'm probably gonna go for the Prisoner next time, because I think I have an idea of how to trigger the next part of it. I know, well, I surmise the way that you get to a new route is basically to die. When you're in a chapter 2, that's how you get to a chapter 3. And so the first time I played the Prisoner, if anyone was here for the previous stream, I definitely stumbled straight into a death there. So, oh, hello, scary waifu again. Hello. So, I think we can manage it, and we can see whatever that evolution is. I hear the third chapter of the Damsel is really good. We will see. We'll see how this goes. We may end up doing more than one loop, or I might end up going back on a save, because I never saw the Apotheosis in my first game, and I really want to see that.
In the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
And I can skip previously seen dialogue, which is very nice of them. I might go a little bit faster. So, let's see, we're going to go for the prisoner, which means we have to take the knife and we have to try to free her. So, let's continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Let's go.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Yeah, let's take that blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
I'm not sure if I feel like saving the world tonight, but here we go.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess
really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. I do like how he says that in every loop, regardless of where exactly we are.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
I might linger on this chapter a little bit, because this is just one of my favorite performances that Nicole Goodnight put in this game.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife, and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Let's drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Alright, I guess I won't linger too long, but actually, oh, this is some new dialogue. I forgot, I do need to be on the lookout for new dialogue. Yeah, it's pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
You're supposed to end the world.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Man, oh god, there's so much I like about this particular variant of the princess. And one of them is, like, she's just so straightforwardly rational. Like, it's hard to find a flaw in her reasoning if you don't know anything about the princess's true nature. That's what had a pretty profound effect on me the first time that I played this. But at the same time, she's got this sort of, like, intimidating aura around her that makes you question everything. It's like, if you solely listen to what she said, if you were just reading it in a book, then I think it would be a pretty clear-cut case of, yeah, why not let her out? But when you actually hear her say it, you're just not quite sure. What are you gonna do if I let you out of here?
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think.
Ah, damn it, I keep on hitting that button.
But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
I think if I end up making a video about this game, this might be one of the things I want to talk about. Just like the feelings and dynamics that this game invokes.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Alright. I've seen enough.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Get you out, honey.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Alright, let me go find the key, honey.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
It's this fucking face.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Go, honey.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
The DM says that you do this. Babe, watch out.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes.
I said at the beginning of the stream, no thirst. No thirst.
I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Prisoner, here we go.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
You ever get that feeling of deja vu?
A terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way.
You don't need to put the deific capitalization on the narrator's pronouns, hero.
You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Yeah, let's just go.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat.
Yeah, we heard the line.
Don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't.
Wink.
Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Clown? Clown princess confirmed? God. I actually was like a little bit disappointed when that meme that the developers kept on tweeting of the clown princess just ended up being like it wasn't an actual thing.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, let's just drop a save here. Just in case. Now, if you haven't played this game, ignore my save game there. But just in case, taking the blade is not the way to get Chapter 3.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Let's just go into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves, the chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Honey, I tried to save you. Interesting, I can try to leave her. Just try to slay her straight away. Let's sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna do... Yeah, once we get to a chapter we haven't seen before, I'm gonna try to play a little bit more naturalistically, but I'm going to go for the path that I think will lead us to a third chapter.
Do you think this is a game?
Yes.
Do you think these chains take away my say in things?
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly. The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her. I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if the roles were reversed? I don't know. How about we think about the nuances of interpersonal relationships when we're not being strangled? How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Play the princess!
You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart. The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward. I don't like this. It was too easy. It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably.
I'm hearing Shifty's wins a little bit.
Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now. You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises? It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here. Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it. With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
Where's my
You
reward?
open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward?
Where's my reward?
This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it.
I wonder if this is leading to the Wraith.
Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
Bullshit. Let us out of here.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now.
I think you'll find
passes.
that there is.
You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
What do you suggest?
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you.
Yeah, let's do it.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Yes.
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart. You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
The Grey. Huh.
You're on a path in the woods.
See? That wasn't so bad.
Okay,
We've got
so I
enough
haven't
chance to get
seen
to
the
bottom
Grey
of
before,
things.
but yeah,
Bit
this is
by
not what I
bit, we're
was. This is
starting
not what I
to
was hoping
unravel
for.
this place.
Shit. I think I'm gonna save this, but then I'm gonna go back. We will come back to that later. So I know that if we test out the other chain, it locks us, and I think that effectively ends the chapter here. The other way to end the chapter here is to accept her offer to cut her own head off. This is weird. I'm actually trying to figure out how to die in this chapter. Oh, I think what I need to do is I probably have to go in just without the blade.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
Shut up, skeptic.
Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner.
Oh, Hero knows what's up.
Yes, I'm sure.
Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay. I'm trusting you.
Hey, don't I get a say here? What's the big idea?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement, her voice, harsh but controlled.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come.
Does she remember us?
skipping over the dialogue
You
we
walk
saw a
down
minute
the
ago.
stairs and lock eyes with the princess. Should we be worried about the one around? Why would you be worried about her restraint? Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall?
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Why can't I die? Oh, I mean, it's gonna. Okay, slay the princess.
Without a moment of hesitation, you charge the princess, your blade primed to deliver a lethal strike.
I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists.
In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us. Just listen to her, do what she says.
How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's...
Okay, so we already tried slaying her. Let's just drop it.
As your weapon falls pathetically to the floor, the princess releases you from her stranglehold, shoving you away with a swift kick. Your hands test the bruised flesh of your neck as you regain your senses, watching with a dazed expression as the princess snatches up the blade.
I'm going to pretend for both our sakes that this was a round of make-believe. A trick to get me what I needed to get us out of here.
That wasn't a trick. I'd have known if it were a trick. You just didn't have the guts to see things through and save the world.
Or maybe we outwitted you. Who's to say?
But I wouldn't try anything else if I were you. Don't push your luck.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly, as she raises the blade to her throat.
You can stay right where you are for this next part.
What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck.
No.
Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, as she saws through skin, veins, cartilage. At last she reaches bone, the blade grinding audibly against her vertebra as it continues to slice its way through her neck.
I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. Why would she do that? Huh. So that's her play. Killing herself? She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment, her twitching eye the only movement in the room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half-wink. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder, and her neck opens. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and
See,
tears
this is another
until
ending,
finally
goddammit.
it falls.
Starting to get frustrated. Maybe I'll try leaving her there instead. Alright, take the blade.
You take the
We're just gonna do this real fast.
door to her voice.
Is that...
Does she remember? You walk down the... Should we... Why have you noticed?
What an...
I didn't leave you.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually.
That's not fair.
Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else.
Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackle.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon.
Alright, let's just
You
do what she asks.
and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, What are your intentions for me?
I've been here before.
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use.
Hey, Bastion. Welcome.
This has
We're trying to see some of the new
complicated
routes here.
things.
It's complicated things. How?
Well, I'm having a little bit of trouble finding them.
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I won't.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Let me out.
You have everything you need to deal with her and save the world. I'm sure the door will open as soon as you finish your incredibly important task. Doesn't sound like we'll be able to talk him into letting us leave.
Yeah, not a chance. He's single-minded about this. But don't worry. There are plenty of things that aren't in his control.
Oh? For instance?
Us. Her. But mostly us. If he didn't have his limits, we wouldn't be here. Not like this.
We know how slaying the princess turns out. Last time I played, examining the chain on the wall locks you in here with her, and then that just becomes an ending.
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, and I don't see any keys in your hands either. So I'm afraid my only way out is another surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
What's up with that chain, honey?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I love that face.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Head's in a shackle, huh?
No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world, and she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
You killed me, man.
But sure, let's talk about what happened. Because what happened is exactly my issue. The last time we met, your body tried to kill me. If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable. So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I think you're aware that I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she? Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
Or it's another bluff.
No hard feelings, of course. But you should be aware of my position. Slide it over.
Alright. We're doing this your way, honey.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea, like, say, I don't know, doing your job and slaying her, you remain rigidly in place.
You tried this last time. Do you want to know how it went for you?
Oh, I remember. She killed us, which, by your estimation, ended the world, right? Oh, Rory, take over your body.
Exactly. If I were you, I wouldn't be too keen on repeating your mistake. Hell, we could even force your hand and do it ourselves. I'm not afraid of dying again. Are you?
A little. I think you got your point across. Fine. You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye contact as she reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly as she raises the blade to her throat. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word.
This is
She
a
cuts into
great
her
and
own
horrifying
neck.
scene, but we've seen this before.
I'll be damned.
Huh.
Killing herself?
She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a snap. There's an uneasy silence. She remains. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally it falls to the floor, completely free. It bounces a few times before rolling to a stop at your feet. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
I'm sorry
what
to
did we
say, I
do?
did take a
Can-
peek
can
at
we
the
put it
internet,
back,
so
please?
I know
Tell
which
me we can
direction
put it
we're
back.
going. Alright, so we are headed... I don't have any spoilers other than how to get there, but we are headed to Prisoner Chapter 3.
The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead. Congratulations! You saved the world.
The game is so complicated, man.
So I guess that's it. What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she?
I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that.
Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of reason. She's left us with this dangling thread, and I need to know why.
You're just wasting your energy. The danger has passed, and now we can all relax and enjoy your reward.
Fine, but if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the
have
basement
seen this
behind
part.
you.
Hello? Reward?
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom.
That bastard entered the world himself.
What's
Let him
done
out.
is done, and there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure.
Decades? No, it can't. We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill.
Yeah. Bye-bye, narrator. See you next time.
Goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart. You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Alright, here we go. The cage.
You're on a path
Holy
in the woods.
shit.
Things everywhere. This is different. This is new. It's worse is what it is.
We're finally starting to see reality for what it is. This place is a prison, and she's not the only inmate.
Alright, Skeptic is definitely our protagonist here. Can't even say he values life this time, yep.
You're acting like reality is this static thing. But this world is constantly changing around us. How can you be so sure that you aren't breathing the prison into existence? That by feeling the walls closing in on you, that's exactly what they do.
Man, my understanding of the lore is that Voice of the Paranoid is 1000% correct here.
What a crock of pretentious bullshit. Reality is as solid as the ground beneath our feet. And if we just examine it, if we apply enough scientific rigor, if we think hard enough, we'll find a way out of here for good. Don't you see? We're already making progress. And what if looking at it is enough to make it change? Where does that leave us?
It leaves you exactly where you are right now, and presumably exactly where you've been before. I'll spare you my full introduction, since you've clearly already heard it at least once, but I would like to remind you that the people in my world are living, breathing, suffering entities, and not pawns for you to sacrifice in pursuit of some vague truth.
Yeah, they keep the details on the narrator's civilization pretty deliberately vague. Yeah, I always assumed that it was like a, space civilization near the heat death of the universe. I also like to imagine that they actually are crows. Hey, we've never started with a blade before.
Huh. I hadn't actually noticed.
Holding it's starting to feel natural, isn't it?
Of course it feels natural. We've had it with us every time. We've made it part of us. Don't be weird. It's just a tool, not some mystical object. Though starting with it feels like an indication that we're on the right track.
This is strange. You're not supposed to start with the blade. It says right here that you're supposed to find it at the cabin. Oh well, I suppose that doesn't make much sense anyway. It's better if you start with a weapon, so...
It's when the elders win. Yeah, this is the Advent Corporation's future for America. They win the election. Do we need to slay her? She cut off her head last time.
She... what? Why would she ever do that? She's not supposed to be suicidal. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Narrator's acting like a DM when everything's gone completely out of his control.
More importantly, if she did cut her own head off, why are you here? You shouldn't have died. You should be enjoying your reward.
About that.
We killed ourselves, obviously. You were insisting that we were happy, but we knew we weren't. We could see right through you. Yeah, what he said. We weren't about to be stuck somewhere being fed non-stop bullshit forever. We want answers. We weren't gonna find them in your fake little paradise.
There are no answers to find. If she was dead, then that was it. That was the solution. All you managed to do was reset the board, and you put the pieces back all wrong while you were at it.
Shit.
Ha! So there is a board.
Well, what's done is done, and you're here now. There's no use arguing. Just get to the cabin and settle this. Try not to kill yourself this time.
If we're not over, then through.
You stand at the edge of a cliff. An abyss yawns beneath you, empty and endless. The only path forward, a rusted metal bridge. The cabin looms on its far side. I think you already know what waits for you within. It's like the world itself doesn't want us to reach her.
There's nothing to find out here. Time to check in with the missus.
I was hearing the official Slay the Princess Blue Sky account saying, like, yeah, Abby was drawing all of these chains by hand. It's crazy.
I'm going to pretend you didn't just call her that.
I'll call her that. Every princess is wife.
Every surface of the cabin is draped in chains, the air filled with the mock birdsong of metallic clinks. Where there should be walls, you can see only endless ropes of metal, with hooks dangling from their ends. A fitting cage for a monster destined to end the world. There's nothing for you to do but step forward into the basement. You already have your weapon. Your objective awaits. And how are we supposed to get to the basement? I don't see a way down. All I see is a mirror. What mirror? There is no mirror. The only thing of note here is the door to the basement.
It clearly serves some purpose, but what? Is there something about us we're supposed to see? Can it be a tool of some kind? Or is it a distraction, something meant to confuse us?
Can we please stop talking about the mirror? I'd rather not spend more time in this room than I have to. It's creepy. You step out onto the floor. Or what should have been a floor.
Uh-oh.
Should have been? Yes, unfortunately. You realise too late that there is no floor beneath the metal. There is only a loose web of chains suspended over some unseen space. An unseen space that you are now rapidly plummeting through.
Oh, shit.
Nothing's solid here, is it? It's all just a shifting mass waiting for us to drop our guard.
A shifting mound, perhaps?
Your fall is suddenly, painfully halted as rusty chains pull taut against your skin, their hooks digging into your muscle. You find yourself suspended in what appears to be a vast, dark space. The glinting of yet more chains merely hinting at its full dimensions. You dangle a few feet off the bare concrete floor. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. As your eyes adjust to your new surroundings, you make out a figure standing in the gloom, obscured in shadow. She watches you with the stillness of the grave.
Easy now. We don't know what sort of situation we're dealing with. We should let her make the first move. Let observation give us an advantage.
Alright, I think I'm going to focus on listening to Skeptic here. Are you mad at me?
But you are met with only silence, save for the creaks and groans of metal as it sways in the stale air around you. The hooks slowly shift in your skin, the pain coming in waves as you continue to dangle helplessly.
What if the chains don't have to be real? What if they aren't real? They feel plenty real to me. Yeah, it would be nice if we could just tell ourselves the chains aren't lodged in all our joints and they'd magically go away, but I'm afraid that's wishful thinking.
Well, maybe wishful thinking is what we need. Maybe they're real, but maybe we can cut through them.
It's worth a try.
Let's try to cut out.
You clumsily rotate the blade in your palm, pressing it against the chains lodged in your wrist.
And it slices through them, right? Right? Yeah, what he said. It slices through. Now hold on. Let's not rush to conclusions. How would that ever work?
It just does?
It doesn't.
Maybe the only reason it isn't working is because someone doesn't believe we can do it.
They're metal chains, and nothing we've done has worked so far. Maybe if you gave me a good reason to believe we should try again, I'd believe it was worth trying again. But until then, I'm going to believe our eyes. This isn't getting us anywhere.
You should believe it because you should. We don't have anything better to do.
Maybe they're rusty. He did say they were rusty, didn't he?
This is starting to play out like a tabletop game.
He did, didn't he? Alright, I'm game. We cut again.
You bring your blade against the chains again, and this time, you manage to cut into the metal. Its hook remains embedded in your flesh, but your arm falls from the mass of chains, free from the princess's bindings.
Yes! Will you look at that? That worked.
And why shouldn't the rest be the same then? But before you can make much progress, the princess takes a step forward. As she moves, the heavy chains shift, tightening and tearing at your flesh, your joints screaming in agony as the rusted hooks dig deeper. Stars dance in your eyes as the chain wrapped around your neck threatens to choke you. As your vision comes back into focus, your eyes fall on the body of the princess, finally emerged from the shadows.
The body of the princess is a weird way to describe a person.
It's only accurate. The form in front of you is a body, draped in raiments of chains, her head dragging along behind her in an iron cage. The head stares up at you but says nothing, and the chains squeeze ever tighter.
Just keep going. She's a head in a cage. We're not going to be able to talk our way out of this. The only thing we can do is keep soaring our way to freedom.
Keep cutting.
Yes, the links are weak. They can't handle the strain. Isn't that right? You know, it's rather annoying for you to dictate what I'm going to say next.
But is that what happens? Do the links break?
Yes. Luckily for you, they were too thoroughly rusted to hold much longer. Your other arm breaks free. The body takes another step towards you, the chains around you tightening, the hooks boring deeper into your flesh. They constrict dangerously around your throat. You find it harder to breathe.
I don't think she's happy you're here. But what do I know? I'm just a set of eyes and ears. I don't make choices. At least not any that matter.
She won't kill us if we just keep cutting. We just have to get our neck free.
You're choosing violence. You woke up and chose violence.
You're not looking at things right. Your eyes are fixed on the distraction, instead of on the hand working the illusion.
I see. You know, maybe she's onto something. Maybe being ahead means you can really focus on figuring out the truth.
Oh my god.
Oh, don't you start.
Everything we witness is just another shade of the same endless cycle. I wake up in chains.
The body steps forward. Your bindings tighten again.
You come to me, knife in hand.
The body steps forward. The pressure on your limbs is becoming unbearable.
You give me your implement.
The pressure is finally too much. Your fist unfolds as your joints swell with trapped blood, and your pristine blade tumbles helplessly to the ground.
I cut myself free.
She's not insane, is she? No, she's just right. It's all been the same. The whole time, it's all been the same. We never had a say.
Okay, we got some long options here. All right, we gotta consider. All right, you're setting me up to fail. I can't make real choices strung up like this, and you're refusing to make any choices at all. Us choosing the same moves every time we play isn't an indictment of anyone's free will, just how things happen to play out. I could have thrown away that knife in the woods if I wanted to, but I chose to come here with it. What was I supposed to have done? You want me to carry your severed head out of the cabin? I thought you were just dead. Please just stop walking forward. I'm gonna die if you stop. Or say nothing. You have a choice, honey.
Just because you refuse to see the walls doesn't mean they aren't there. Give in with me. It's so much easier to let the world happen to you.
She steps forward yet again, and the chains dig into you, your nerves screaming, your heart pounding, your lungs desperate for air. I don't think we can hold on to you much longer. How many times will we have to do this? I'm tired.
This is all getting so predictable, isn't it? Pop.
Falling, the world is spinning. Then you hit the ground, your body light in a way that is sickeningly wrong, and roll to a stop. The sound of rattling chains and a heavy thud as the rest of what was once you falls to the ground somewhere nearby. You are unable to take action, unable to defend yourself, unable to even look around as the princess's body stepped towards you, one slow, rhythmic step after another. It stoops down to pick you up, and then a shadow races behind the body, blade glinting.
And now, the cut.
It strikes, and it strikes true. The body drops its cage in pain. They descend on each other in a maelstrom of chains and hooks and feathers and blood, fighting their way deeper into the shadows, until all you're left to witness are the sounds of violence.
See? You only ever thought you were in control. Isn't it so much nicer to let go?
God, this is really sad. Thought that would be the end of me. I guess this isn't so bad.
I told you. It really isn't. And now nothing's stopping you from enjoying the show.
So you and the princess watch as your bodies weave in and out of the shadows, performing their lethal dance.
Look at us go. Aren't we beautiful?
The movement is gorgeous, primal, uninhibited, steel crashing against steel, and flesh rolling off of flesh.
It's all going to come to a head soon. Head.
Oh, I wasn't gonna laugh, honey, but if you are, sure, I'll laugh with you. And at last, the climax plays out. Your body, wreathed in chains and shadows, makes its final move, but so does hers. Chain shatters spine, and blade pierces heart.
I guess I'll see you next time.
Both hers and yours collapse, their dance complete. Sorry, honey, but I think this is our final pit stop. Blood drips from the princess's mouth and she coughs.
It's cold, but that's always been us, hasn't it? Cold isn't bad.
You do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns. You approach the mirror. You've grown. Find yourself in the long quiet once again. You're at the cabin.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Man, that is... Oh man, that was a little heavy. I think the prisoner was defined by, you know, by quiet defiance. I mean, she's literally chained... I mean, she's chained to the wall. I mean, she's always chained to the wall, but... She has heavy chains around her neck, impossible for her to escape, but she retains that defiant spirit. And then, in this cage chapter, she's just given in. And I think then we got the lore aspect of, you know, the reshaping of reality, but it's just not enough. Man, that's a downer.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
I love this movement of her theme so much. What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Speak English.
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
That's a good line. You've been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Thank you.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
I need to rebind the right mouse button. Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is a body that convinced herself she was only a set of eyes. She will make for a watchful heart. Do not mourn her. She is now what she wished that she could be.
Go back.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die. Okay. Let's see. We've been streaming for about an hour. I want to see the new Apotheosis. I've still got a little bit of streaming stamina left.
Is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Okay, so I haven't seen the Apotheosis before, but I know how to get to the tower, and I know it follows on from that. So,
That's the spirit.
grew up slaying the princess.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning, before you go any further. She will lie.
She will cheat, etc., etc.
Ignore him. The interior of the cabin is almost entire. The blade is your...
Alright, let's Let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the
Because it
table.
gives us the best princess.
It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing
Princess
a
is living here.
staircase.
The slaying her is
Her
probably doing
voice
her a favor.
carries up.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you.
Hi, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
What? No.
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
God, I love the delivery on that line.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
I like this exchange too. I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are going to do this forever, aren't you? The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure...
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Alright, so I think I just need to talk to her for a few lines in order to get the tower.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
Do you?
Don't just tell her that.
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Quick save.
They haven't told you anything, have they? At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but that doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
The subtle implication of that line, rather than you'd be killing me.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, but you don't really know me, do you?
She's right about one thing.
Like I said, It's all. So do you trust me, the prisoner?
She's wrong.
Oh, have you decided?
You know.
The princess.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
Hesitation is defeat.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity.
I have a bit of a pet theory that whichever route you get first says something about you, but this was the first route that I got. So I don't know. Draw your own conclusions.
You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
Oh god. In the when Super Eyepatch Wolf streamed to this game, you can find it on his regular Eyepatch Wolf channel. He got to this part, I think in the second to last episode. That line had a pretty profound effect on him. It's so funny. There's like 2 or 3 lines throughout the game, and then the entire adversary chapter. But this one, his editor Foxcade pulled a real dirty one because he like zoomed in on his face and highlighted that he was turning red. That's great.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark,
and you die.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Okay, no.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again.
Voice of the Broken. Yeah, okay.
She
The
is not
biggest
going to
simp
kill
is
you
now in
unless
play.
you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself. A warning. She will lie. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess
sound
and
of me
save
going
the
up the
world
ladder.
without a weapon.
Man, I hope there's no new content involving... okay, fuck it. Let's look at the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
There we go.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
I disagree. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
What did I say?
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity.
I haven't tried this chapter without the knife. Another time.
Drop it.
Okay. Another crossroads here. I think I have to die when she makes us stab ourselves.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp.
I forgot.
It flutters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade.
Of course we dropped
Hope my
it.
neck cracking doesn't come through on the
She's
mic.
so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her,
And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she?
Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it?
He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her?
Sorry about my creaky chair, too.
Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
What happened to you after I died?
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Not going to help you in the world.
I say, perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants.
No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad.
Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway.
I hate you so much, all of you.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her. No, you can't just slay yourself. You're perfectly healthy and capable, and all you have to do is ignore her and do what has to be done. The blade and the hand that wields it remain firmly locked in place until you change your mind and decide to do literally anything else.
Look at you quaking against my will. An ant defying a god. It's pointless to resist. In the end, everything submits to oblivion. But you're not the one resisting me, are you? There's something else in there. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Oh man, it's wild how much of the lore that only gets dropped at the very end you can find in different branches of this game.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about? I
don't care what you are. You're mine.
You bring the blade to your neck. You slice through soft flesh, severing veins and arteries, your blood flowing freely down your body. It's a painful lesson in obedience, but the pain won't last forever.
No.
When I see you again, you'll free me from my chains and deliver me to the destiny that lies beyond this place.
We will. I promise.
I know you will.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Okay, I haven't played this chapter before, but I've listened to the music over and over.
And at the end of that path...
Oh, let me guess. And at the end of the path is a cabin.
Excuse me?
Come on, man. We can see it right in front of us. And besides, we've been here like, 5 times already?
I think this is 3.
Who cares? The woods are always the worst part anyway. Nothing ever happens in them. I care. Every single time you've been here, it means an entire other reality has been damned to oblivion. One reality is already an incalculable loss. And there is a massive difference between 3 and 5. Feels like the numbers getting thrown around here are too big not to be abstract.
Numbers like 5.
Numbers like entire realities. At the end of the day, it's all just silly, isn't it? None of us can count to a whole reality, and he's asking us to think about the difference between 3 and 5.
You're already starting to lose the thread. Just because you can't personally sum up the contents of an entire reality doesn't mean that the people inhabiting it don't contain moral value. If you have any sense of ethics left in there, if you have any moral compass, please, you have to stop her. Don't you get it? Might makes right, and she didn't even have to touch us last time to prove her power.
So what? Just because she made us kill ourselves, we're supposed to submit to her authority without question?
I knew when to surrender to our better. You would have lost eventually anyway, and it would only have made her angry. It would only have made things worse for all of us.
Oh, for the love of... Can you all please just get on with it? You're not making this any easier for yourselves. Do we even have agency right now? We either do what she wants, or we do what he wants. Either way, we're listening to somebody. Please, nothing in life is a binary. Obviously, we find a third choice that nobody wants.
Contrarian, you are so right.
You all talk about choices and freedom, but there is no choice when it comes to the will of a god.
I'm going to cut you off right there. She is not a god, and the more times you fail, the harder it becomes for you to succeed. But the fact that you're still here means you still have a chance to pull this off. So, princess, dangerous, cabin, slay, now.
Okay, now hold on. I have so many questions.
And right now you have neither the time nor the mental acuity to handle a single response. It's now or never.
Alright, fuck it. Let's
But
go.
a great and horrible change is already underway. The ground quakes beneath your feet, and you feel an unyielding force pulling at you and your surroundings. The trees start to sway, then crumble, breaking apart as everything is drawn towards the cabin. Even the earth beneath you seems to shift, your feet unable to grip solid ground as you're dragged forward along with everything else.
The end of everything. The beginning of something new. The moment we open that door, she will be free.
Any, words of warning? You already know everything you need to know. As you step forward, the cabin explodes. You're flung backwards, violently slamming into a tree as debris rains down around you.
Holy shit.
You watch in paralyzed awe and terror as the princess emerges, her body unfurling from some vast space as she stands upright to face you. The world bows to her.
The ruined landscape shifts, trees and stone and the ground itself succumbing to her gravity, orbiting her like a great black hole.
Finally, the little bird has set me free. This is always how it was going to end. And this is always how it was going to begin.
There's a loud thunk from the tree behind you as something embeds in its shattered bark. Your pristine blade. It's now or never.
Hey, funny one. Didn't you say something about a third option? One that would make everyone unhappy?
Well, we could always run away, right? To where? I don't know. Anywhere.
You're all ruining the moment of her ascension. Have you no respect for the divine?
Okay, we're getting out of here.
A coward to your core, you turn to flee, leaping from the piece of floating debris and into the empty space beyond where the woods used to be. This isn't cowardice, this is a calculated move. Sure it is. Can it be a bit of both? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just a little afraid of her.
Are you so awestruck by my glory that you cannot bear to look at me? I think not.
As you fall, a great force pulls at the back of your neck, violently yanking you away from whatever lack of destination you were headed towards.
Ah, this live version of this track is incredible.
Now witness me!
Yes, your grace.
She turns you to face her. The scruff of your neck is held firmly between two giant fingers. So much for running away.
I forgive you your transgressions, but my destiny is inescapable.
She's right, we don't even have a weapon. It's over, isn't it?
And yet she still extends her mercy. We should do as she says. Why are you all resisting in the first place?
Sure, why not?
So much for spiting her. Spiting him it is.
Good. I can feel your heart opening to mine.
Her words are like a gentle tug, drawing you closer to the mountain of her body. You land softly on her shoulder. Her skin is warm and comforting. This really is the end.
It sounds like he was walking away from the mic.
Is it the end? We're still here.
The night sky unweaves into a textured nothingness. He does not respond.
Everything is gone but us and her. This is her power. This is where we're meant to be.
He's really gone. That's unexpected. But he would have said something by now if he were still here. Right? Yeah. Never knew when to shut up, that one. It's part of why I liked him so much. I can't believe all it took to make him disappear was saying no once. What happens now?
This world is but an illusion, keeping us from my ascension. A play of shadows dancing on the wall.
The princess reaches forward into the textured nothing and buries her fingers in its divine flesh. Her touch is soft.
The flame may be snuffed, but the wall remains. This isn't just for my glory. You are a part of this now.
See? This is nice. We're safe. She's helping us. She's helping everyone.
Her grip tightens and somehow you feel it. The pain sits at the limits of your comprehension, like an endless sea of hands, falling on you one after another, before finally collapsing in on themselves. You lose yourself in the darkness. Screaming unintelligible agony.
Soon, little bird. Then your eyes will open, and all of this pain will seem but the fading memory of a distant dream.
Soon? Soon? Does that mean there's gonna be more?
My only comfort is that he isn't here to see us suffer. He would love that, wouldn't he?
The textured nothing is ripped open, and with it, you are ripped open. Amid a sea of disassociative pain, you can feel everything that is you pouring out into the ether. And you feel something else too, anger, a need to lash out and hurt that which is hurting you.
Yes, hurt her. Do something, anything, to make it stop.
Why am I getting a goddamn captcha? I'm sorry, give me a moment. The YouTube stream system is bothering me. Okay, we're back in action.
No, if suffering is what she demands of us, suffering is what we'll give. Why would I doubt our God?
It is so tempting to see what's on the other side of that great big nothing, but I think I'm gonna lose myself if this goes on for much longer. Why do we have to be the ones going through all this pain while she gets all the benefits?
Blasphemer. We have been given the gift of offering ourselves to a higher purpose, and you spit in its face.
Make her suffer with you. You are a weave of tendrils racing against themselves, and down the shape of an arm, you snap around it. Relief, the massive burden is lifted from you. You are in one piece. You are in your body. Oh shit, that's the green miasma that you see in one of the endings. Your eyes open. Before you is the massive form of the princess, arms bound by the textured nothing. Behind her is a hole in the world leading into something beyond. Something beautiful.
I knew it! That old windbag was hiding all kinds of secrets from us. There's a whole world out there.
I don't know what to say. It's just so beautiful. Doesn't the mere sight make all the misery worth it?
It's not all that.
What did you do to me? I was supposed to be perfect. I was supposed to be a god. I was all of those things. And now I'm not. All because of you.
She looks up with futile sorrow at the something beautiful that sits beyond.
We could have had everything. If only you had given me a little more, we could have been free on the wings of my glory. Now we're stuck here. Forever.
I, for one, am perfectly happy to be stuck here forever. It's more than worth it if that's the price we paid for taking her down a peg.
The hole mends shut. As it closes, the tendrils lose their grip, freeing the princess as they retreat.
It's gone. No. No, how do we get it back? Can we try again? We'll suffer so much better if we get to try again, I promise.
It's so cold here. If this wasn't enough, then what is?
Need a lot of hands for this one. But you don't get the opportunity to try again, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's gonna be okay. Just trust me.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing. I don't want to look at us.
You approach the mirror.
I don't like that silence.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've withered. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
How can you stand to be a contradiction?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
Contradictions don't exist.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
What do you think of this vessel?
This one sits at the cusp of awakening, a new god waiting to be born. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she has finally found her light.
It doesn't matter how many times I go back, at least one of us always hurts the other. Doesn't that change you? Doesn't that make you worse?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
Anything that makes me like you more. I don't know what that says about me.
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion.
It's time to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die.
You're on a path.
And there we go. What is memories? Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, so it's all of like the unique, I guess you could say CGs. Interesting. Here's all the ones that we currently have unlocked. So I guess this doesn't really include our previous, back when I streamed this last year. So we had to find the damsel, the specter, the razor. That's the other way to get the razor, the stranger, adversary, beast. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I guess if we want to do like 100% completion, this is the way to go about it. I'm not sure if I'm insane enough to go for 100% in this game. Go back to the main menu. That was a good one. That was a little less frustrating from last time. And I think now we're going to wrap up. So, aim for next Tuesday once more. Thank you to everyone who joined me. You may now resume your doom scrolling. And be kind to